Live. We are live. Weird thought. Have you ever noticed the word live is evil backwards?
No.
Mark of the beast.
I've never noticed it. How?
It is
noticed it for a
EVIL.
long time. You didn't tell me.
Well, I'm just sharing it with you now.
Hey, we're live.
Hey, we're live. Like that.
And
thing.
it's on the correct
It's
page.
on the right page, y'all. Last week, I apologize.
Technology.
If you're not currently on the Lake Point virtual page, a friend
You
of theirs,
should be.
you should be there. Jump on that thing.
Just in case we accidentally go live from
Last
that
week, I
page.
kept referencing like Tim McCart, Linda Ramey, who gave us this awesome cups. And they were never on. I thought, that's
couldn't
cool. They
log
probably
on,
had
which
things
seemed
going on.
odd.
They didn't have things. They might have had things going on. They just
They were
asked
just
me later,
waiting
like,
for the normal
where were you
place.
guys? So, hey, we're here on the right page tonight. Miss
Yay.
Teresa, good to see you tonight. We're
And
glad
the
that you're
Means are
joining us.
here.
In the Means house.
Miss
Good to
Susie
see you,
Means
Miss Susie
can tell you
Means.
all about the virtual page.
Susie
She
Means
is
runs
in
that
charge of it.
mug. Absolutely runs it. Jenny Abernathy. Hey, girl, how are you doing tonight? Jenny, were you a fan? Jenny, I don't want to ask inappropriate. Like, what year? We went to high school kind of around the same time. Like, Jenny from the block. Jennifer Lopez.
I didn't know where he was.
Jennifer
going with that.
Lopez
I'm
was
sorry.
a big deal.
I was going
in
to try
the
to help
late
you out,
90s.
but I didn't know. He just kept saying your name, and he said it was going to be
I just didn't
appropriate.
know if you used to go around singing Jenny from the block.
But the question is, are you still Jenny from the block? That's
You could be.
Are you still?
If you don't know who that is, don't look it up because it's sad.
It's not. Yeah.
Jenny Abernathy is much better than
She
Jennifer
is.
Lopez. I've had many more conversations with Jenny Abernathy.
than Jennifer Lopez. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say so.
It's currently at 0.
I wonder if all the yelling our kids are doing is coming through. I feel like
If you can hear my
really
kids, can
loud
y'all
right
hear our
now.
kids?
I feel like they can.
You want to tell them what we did today, this afternoon, when I finally got home? When I got to go home? Burned the Christmas
We
tree.
did.
We set it on fire. If you've never done that,
That's fun. First of all,
it's a
burn
fun and
fast
it's a fire
enough.
safety lesson all in one.
Yeah, especially if
Pictures,
you.
okay.
What happened?
What? Rob's calling me right now.
Sorry, Rob. We can't talk. Where did
Hold
it
on,
go?
everybody. Are we
We
still
don't
there?
know.
Hey, we're still there. Rob Rayner called. I'll call him back.
What were we saying? Oh, especially if I leave to go to the grocery store and you catch one of our children's hair on fire for a second.
She caught her own hair on fire. It was an ember that landed.
That's
we
enough.
were out there.
It
Let's
only
just say it
takes
was one of our.
ember.
It was one of our daughters, and we were next to the fire. I said, "Daddy, what's that really bad smell?" I was like, "Caroline, it's just the fire. Like that. Maybe it's burnt Christmas tree smell." Until I looked down and saw her
This
hair.
is what happens when I leave.
But we brushed our fingers through it. I said, "I don't think you might notice." I put it in the back. It looked fine. We might need to check it out.
I think it's fine. I checked it over sort of without making a huge deal at dinner. It looks fine.
Okay.
If I brush it out and pieces start falling out, we'll know.
Then we'll know, and then we'll address it.
And we'll just
Figure this
braid
out.
that hair for a few days.
Jenny
It's
was
not
jamming
like
Jenny
she
on the
hasn't
block
cut
at Georgia
herself
Southern.
bangs twice. We've been through this with bangs
We have.
twice.
We got a lot of hair in our house. A lot of hair. Our life group is wrapping up right. Oh my word.
Hey everyone.
Oh, wonderful.
What a fun group.
Wonderful. So thankful.
Miss Linda, check out our matching cups. The
Gee.
kids were reading them at dinner. They were like, "Why does Jesus drink coffee? I don't understand. Do you need?" I was like, "Yeah, you need Jesus and coffee." That's what
Linda.
it says.
We saved your spot this morning, Linda. Actually, we had people sitting in it. I tried to run them off, but there were a lot. There were a lot of people. But
What if you really did run them off? That would be funny.
that would be.
If you're like, "I'm sorry, you can't sit here. This is."
You can't sit here. Seat saved for Linda Ramey. Linda, but we will see you back soon. Everyone, if you didn't know, check on Miss Linda. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Linda, hope you're doing better this evening. And we really will be saving your seat for the next
We
week.
really will, seriously, and we really will run somebody out of it if we need to. That's the truth.
That's our style. Can't sit. Last week, so we were out for Christmas.
Seats are at a
and New Year.
premium right now. at
Y'all,
church.
we got
It's like-
there. By the time last Sunday when I got to church, the whole right side, if you're standing on the stage looking out, was soaking wet. Like the floor, the seats, because there was a little bit of a leak coming down. So
that
we
leak
addressed
is
it.
not, it's
It's
not even
serious.
new. We've addressed it before, and it just keeps coming back.
It keeps coming back. That and then the wax from Christmas Eve that looks, excuse my language, like bird poop.
It does.
It looks like bird
Let
poop.
me say this: a bird did not get loose from
It
the
did not.
sanctuary, even though
It's
seems
wax.
like.
And somebody today said, bring the hair dryer. I was like, I need to bring a hair
I
dryer.
was wondering if an iron.
They said somebody today was saying, yeah, you just put a hair dryer on there a little bit, it'll loosen up and you can scrape it off. We'll see. If not, we're just going to put those chairs all in one section next to each
I
other
look forward to hearing
and
about you and
save
Jeff.
those. We'll figure it out.
attacking this problem together. I think you should bring all the things. Like you should bring the hairdryer and the iron. Just see.
Let's just see what happens.
I've got
but I promise it wasn't
iron.
a doctor. It wasn't a bird.
Not a bird. Thankfully, it does look like that. It's dripped on
Carol's
the
got it
jersey.
all. Shonda does.
Also, I don't know what it is about Christmas Eve candles, but apparently it's just like people have to spill the wax. It's easy to do.
Well, last year we had dripless.
Last year, no. Let me remind you. Last year, I was in charge of ordering them.
Yeah.
And the little drip things didn't come. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we borrowed some from Madison
in,
Baptist Church this year. So Madison Baptist, shout out to you, Griffin Goldich and Renee Hester.
Cupcake.
We did
Things really quick on Christmas Eve, like hundreds.
It worked, but they worked.
It worked. The rigged up cupcake things were the way to go, apparently.
So if you come into
these
the church,
borrowed one. Apparently, Christmas Eve was a party.
Christmas
we
Eve
don't
was
know.
a
We
party.
weren't there, but
we tried. We were doing our
these
thing.
borrowed ones were not dripless. Let's just say that. There's
dripless.
probably a dozen chairs that have wax.
Yeah, it's pretty rough looking. I'm not gonna lie. Heather, I'm sorry you were homesick with the family. Is the whole family sick today?
No. That's no fun.
We'll see you back very soon.
We
we'll save your
understand.
spots.
We've been there.
Been there. Thank you. It was a good service. 2 good services today. Linda Ramey's going to the heart doctor tomorrow. Linda, I hope that goes well. Is that in
Yeah, don't be
Athens by
afraid about
chance?
that.
You going up to Athens?
That does not sound like any fun.
Oh my goodness.
don't
Hope they
know.
just keep clearing you from stuff. That'll be
That'll
be good.
That's actually really good. Yeah. Just be cleared of all the things and that'd be fine.
clear. The
Tim and
McCarts are
Marsha
here.
are here. On the
Tim
night that
and
we talked
Marsha.
about dinosaurs, you tricked them.
I know. He was so. Oh, both girls are sick too, Heather.
Oh no.
Oh my.
That's the worst.
Hang in there.
I'm so sorry.
I am sorry. I am sorry.
We can just feel your pain.
We can relate. This is empathy.
We
right here.
just what Danny kindly left out about the Christmas tree burning was that we just packed up the rest of Christmas today
I
on
love you, Dad.
January 9th.
We did. That's why we
I
burned the
think we
trees. this
broke a
afternoon.
record this year.
It was pretty rough, y'all.
With
We
how
were-
late.
Did you take the wreaths off the front porch?
No.
Yeah, we're still redneck. It's okay.
Oh, no.
We'll put
That was the one thing I told myself. If nothing else, we're getting those wreaths off the front.
Nobody else sees the
because
inside,
Then at
but-
least the neighbors won't think. Meanwhile, the poor neighbors had to deal with our fall mailbox flag until.
I know. The day before Christmas when I put up the Christmas flag. Our mailbox itself was just kind of
I'm
struggling.
sorry,
so.
Kellys. All the Kellys. I'm so
Look,
sorry.
Heather, you coming to Wednesday night? Come on.
Yay,
It's going to be a great time.
Wednesday night is the best.
January 26. January 26. Put it on the calendar.
Not
I'm
this
still,
Wednesday. We had somebody try to come this Wednesday.
You
Don't
can.
do that.
No, because our daughter invited a teacher, and the teacher was.
Believed her.
That'll get you. No, not this Wednesday. Wednesday,
Don't
January
listen to our
26th.
kids. They
Come
don't
on
know
out.
the calendar.
We'll have a good time. I'm trying to decide, Heather, if you have a topic, we can open this up to our virtual group here.
Oh,
If you have a topic that you would like for me to go through. No, I was currently thinking, and it might be a little nerdy, about going through the Apostles' Creed. I didn't grow up saying the Apostles' Creed every
for the
week.
whole time or just one Wednesday.
No, like taking
all the
a
weeks?
section, taking a section a week.
Okay, Steve Powers.
Steve knew what he was doing. My Steve Powers peeps. No, for real, I was thinking about
I
it.
love Steve Powers, but that man could break it down to like one word at a time. He'd be like, for the year of 2010, we're just going to look at the Lord's Prayer.
We would hour.
Not really.
What does hour
That's
mean?
a little.
So good.
But we did do the Beatitudes for like.
We did the Beatitudes
I
for a
felt
minute.
like it was months.
I thought the apologetics, the Apostles' Creed, was a decent
I
idea.
like the Apostles' Creed, but
Not the whole time.
all the weeks, that's a lot of weeks for that one thing.
We can.
We'll look at it. You guys tell us what you
Heather,
think.
if you have a topic you would like for us to discuss on Wednesday night, me to discuss, let me know. I'll be happy to look into it for real. Oh, look, Kathy.
Okay, I think I'm not saying it's a
Bang.
bad creed.
Kathy, I didn't get a chance to talk to
I'm
you
not
this
saying
morning.
it's bad. I'm
I
just
saw
saying,
you out there.
I'm just saying maybe don't stretch it out the whole spring.
Well, Kathy,
We're smart people. We can absorb things a little bit faster.
talk
than
faster. Shawnee's telling me to speed it up.
But I'm a teacher, and we have a lot to get out in a short amount of time. So maybe I'm just thinking about it from that.
Maybe so.
I mean, I just have almost a doctorate in curriculum and instruction, but you just do what you want to do. I'm just
What was
kidding.
that first word she
I'm
said?
just
Did she say almost? I think she did.
Oh, I did. That almost is a big almost too.
I don't have anything to say. People say don't win.
It's an
Quando.
expensive. It's an expensive
Quando.
almost. By the way,
What's that tax? We better be writing some
tomorrow.
offline taxes. Tomorrow's the
is
deadline.
registration day. Yay!
We're almost there.
We're almost there. We've been almost.
Look
there
at all
for
these
a long,
Apostle
long time.
Creed folks. Tommy McFarland.
Okay, it's happening.
Some of
It's
us
gonna
on
happen.
here are predestined with a capital P.
Oh, I see.
To hear you
I see
preach on the
now.
Apostles' Creed.
Maybe you do need the whole spring. I didn't realize.
My people. Kathy, Episcopalian. When I don't want to mess this up.
Do you
Kathy.
memorize people's previous
Kathy, I'm pretty sure was
denominations?
Episcopalian. I'm thinking through it real fast. No. She was Lutheran.
You're gonna
Kathy
mess
was
this
Lutheran.
up. You're gonna mess this up.
Kathy, Lutheran.
This is dangerous
Indiana.
ground.
I mean, right? Indiana. I said Illinois one time, Kathy. I don't want to mess it up. So we have a Lutheran and a Pentecostal.
I'm that. That's me.
And a Presbyterian all at the same time. But
I don't
Teresa.
think if we did the Apostles' Creed, I don't think we called it that. If it was a Pentecostal church thing, it
check it
didn't
out.
have that name.
Missouri Synod Lutheran. Kathy,
You're a stinker.
thank you.
You're right.
Kathy, I called you Episcopalian for about 30 seconds. 3 seconds. That was my bad. I corrected myself.
You were in
From-
that
we've
mode.
got-
You
we
were
have-
in that
look at this.
mode where you're like, I know
We
this
have
girl's name. Her
Luther-
name's Jennifer, Jessica,
I know
Joanne.
Kathy, like Central Illinois.
And it will be a
Methodist. Holy cow. We got 2 Methodists on here. But we've got the Lutherans and the Calvinists. Like Calvin and Luther. I mean, Tommy,
you're
you
gonna
and
have to
Kathy,
really take
y'all,
your
you
time,
and
I
Kathy
guess.
need to figure this stuff
More
out.
Presbyterians.
Oh, Don. They're Lutheran. Cheryl Bolson's on here. Yes, it's called the
is
Apostles'
called-
Creed.
I know it is.
Hey,
I just
Cheryl.
don't think I called it that growing up.
Cheryl, this is Kathy Sweeney. Kathy Sweeney, this is Cheryl Bolson. Both of you are lovely, lovely people. Hey, Cheryl, you're from Savannah, Illinois, right? Like,
Yes,
I'm pretty sure Savannah,
I think
Illinois.
that's right.
Which I remember you saying it was like southwestern Illinois.
They probably know.
Anyway,
the,
Cheryl and Kathy, I would almost guarantee that you're going to find a connection
surely.
tonight
Surely
if you
will.
message each other and say what part of Illinois, who you're related to, because Lutherans are taking over Illinois, or they took over Illinois. I guess then they're still doing their thing. Cheryl, for real, Cheryl and Kathy, that's really interesting.
That's very fun.
Don, 3 Presbyterians.
I love
Telling
it.
you, from Bethany Pres. Looks like it's the Apostles' Creed.
Basically, we go to church with all the best people. That's how it pans out. I don't know what these
The
other
best
people are
of the
doing,
best.
but
People go, so what do y'all do here? I was like,
we do a lot of things.
a lot. We'll figure it out.
We have an Advent wreath. That's not a thing that everybody has. We
Advent
take communion
wreath.
every Sunday. That's
Communion
not a
every
thing
Sunday.
that everybody has.
We baptize by
We
immersion.
don't sing a ton of hymns, but some of us
We
know
don't.
them very well.
We know them and
we
can
should
quote them
sing
at any
more,
point. We need to bring more of them in. True story.
but we do sing all the other songs a lot. So I
We stick
think
to
we
the
cover all of our
scripture. We
worship.
preach the scripture.
There's
hey,
not a ton of speaking in tongues. I think that would freak everyone out if there was.
We'll find out.
I feel certain of it.
Probably so.
We don't have the snakes.
I'm not a fan of snakes of any kind.
No.
That's just the facts.
You guys know that because we've told you that we need a barn cat. We've covered that base more than once.
Yeah, I'm glad you're sitting with us in the bedroom
This is
tonight.
fun. This is good. It's
Never
raining
heard of Savannah,
outside.
Illinois.
One day we're gonna go back outside to the other side of these doors and
Yeah, it was raining
actual
hard
porch,
earlier,
but
y'all.
it
We
was
finished
too
burning the
loud.
Christmas trees, and I was like, man, when's this fire going to go out? And then a monsoon came through for 17 seconds. It's out. Like, the fire's out. Everything's done. But never heard of Savannah, Illinois.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the Apostles' Creed versus the Nicene Creed. Easier to remember.
You could do both. That would be more of a.
We could do a
skipping
church
sequence.
history. I
Be
would
more
love
appropriate
that.
for that.
I would love some. I would enjoy it, actually. We could back
I
up
like them
everybody,
both. They're
where the
both
Lutherans
good.
and
I think
Episcopalians,
Apostles' Creed would
Presbyterians, and
be
Methodists
easier.
come
We
from.
could maybe memorize that.
Oh, we'll memorize it together. We'll have candy rewards or fruit, whatever. If you're being healthier,
Fruit rewards don't go far. I don't think.
what do you do?
You're gonna give everybody a banana.
Amazing
It's not
Grace.
worth it.
Yes, Don.
Amazing Grace
Donald.
is a good one. That is a good one.
So I'm excited about Walter May's coming up, my friend. It's coming
Is
back.
it? Yes.
Yes, it
Good
is.
deal. I know you're
coming
excited.
back.
That's awesome. We're getting text messages.
Text
about the
message.
ski
Oh
trip.
my goodness. Here we go. We're gonna
Yes,
figure it out.
Natalie, that works.
Whoa,
if you're
what?
here.
How many kids are gonna be
figure it
seeing? We'll
out.
figure this thing out.
We'll figure it out.
Dummy. Oh, Tim. See, Tim was raised in the kind of church that
Okay,
we're in now.
Tim. Here we go. Because not all of us were raised with the Apostles' Creed. Explain it.
I wasn't raised in the
Seminary
Apostles' Creed.
grad, you go.
Wow, Kathy. Could you summarize?
Do you want me to Google it? Do you
No,
need it?
I have
Do you
an
need it?
answer for real. Kathy is real. Kathy and I talk about the Apostles' Creed a lot. Kathy or Cheryl, or my Presbyterians on here. Apostles' Creed. What's the need for it? Okay, my version is they're typing it out, Tim.
Is there typing it out?
300. It was like 3.
Just 5 kids. I knew she'd be here.
Just 5. Oh, now is it? So, and our hands are all.
Well,
so
yeah, we'll talk about the sleeping arrangements.
we'll figure it
because
out.
The 5 kids is kind of a lot, but that's fine. Danny
Get
will,
away, Jake said. Jake and Blake were like, no, take a cabin in the woods with your kids. Now
Danny
my kids are
will
going.
probably find the
Holy
boys'
cow.
cabin part of the, and it'll be
I'm just kidding. We'll have a
Natalie.
blast.
You just come on. Me and
Okay,
you
that
and
is the
kids.
Apostles' Creed. So the
Okay, go
Apostles'
ahead.
Creed, for real, after Jesus lived, died, and was resurrected from the grave, he ascended into heaven. He told the disciples, go out and start a bunch of churches. They started starting churches, And then the churches started saying things like, hey, so what's our boundaries? Like, what do we actually, what's important, what's not as important? What do we have to believe to be Christian? What can you not believe to be Christian?
Questions.
So they started having these things called councils, and it was mostly in that same region, Mediterranean, that kind of region of the world. And they started having councils with, it was a very, very intricate process where they got bishops and priests, bishops and church leaders from all over the region, from all over the known world, to gather together and to break down the essentials of the faith. And they came up with this prayer, the Apostles' Creed. Somebody could type it for real. A lot of denominations, Tim, apparently the Presbyterians, Lutherans, and Episcopalians and Methodists
do a good job
actually say it every week as a part of their service. It's part of they say that, and a lot of times the Lord's Prayer every week. I grew up Baptist. You grew up Pentecostal. Tim grew up in the Christian church, which is kind of what our branch of church is out now. But we didn't grow up saying that. It's called a creed, where you say, hey, you know what? We believe these things to be true. So we didn't grow up doing it, but there's a lot of really important, it's all theologically sound and a lot of important reasoning for it, because you're saying, no, like you need to believe the virgin birth, the crucifixion, the resurrection.
A song. We used to sing a song a lot that has...
It's called I Believe in God the Father.
It quotes the entire creed, or
it goes through most of the Apostles' Creed.
Yeah, it's not exactly. It's to music, so I think they kind of took a little bit of liberty, but it's essentially.
And back then, Tim and everybody else, like most folks couldn't read at all. So they also wanted to come up with something. When someone said, "Hey, I want to be a Christian," they said, "All right, believe in Jesus." They're like, "Done. Mm-hmm. Follow Jesus. Done. What else is it?" And they would give them these prayers or these creeds and say, "Okay, memorize this, and this will help you." Every day, as part of your prayer life, say, okay, these are the things that we believe and remember. Actually, in a lot of ways, y'all, I think we're kind of coming full circle in the church world. Like, that's actually a very important thing for us to do. That's one of the reasons I want to go through it on Wednesday nights. Maybe not the whole semester. But, it is important to say, okay, no, these are some, 8 or 9, 10, truths of the church. Like, these things are very important.
I think you could make it work for the whole semester.
Thanks, Shantae.
I believe in you. I shouldn't have doubted you. You could you could also do, I like it when people talk about hymns and where they came from.
Oh, hymns and where they came from is fun.
Would be a fun addition.
Don, would you sing Amazing Grace?
Yeah,
if I preached on Amazing Grace?
Of course he would.
Y'all, I've enjoyed this. I had a great service, 2 great services at church this morning. If you were in the building or watching online, got to baptize little Josie Ray. It was absolutely wonderful.
So sweet.
Beautiful family. 2 things you need to know about Josie Ray's family. 1, Katie Ray looks just like her sister because she's a twin.
They're identical
2,
twins.
Carson Ray looks just like his brother, and they're not. I don't even know the age difference. Did you see him?
I didn't.
Freaky how much these guys. Carson, if you see this week, or Katie,
not as much as the identical twins.
So similar to each other. It was absolutely crazy.
But if you do see Katie Ray in public and she sort of blows you off, it's probably your twin sister. And you're like, man, why is she?
It's because she doesn't know you.
She's not being rude. She looks exactly the same.
We're going to make it happen.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny.
A lot of identical twins sort of eventually, I guess, grow out of that, but they did not. They look exactly the same to me. I think their hair is a little bit different color, but it would not be enough. If I saw her and she didn't speak to me, I would think it was Katie being rude. And she said it happens.
We also have twins. Sometimes we're just rude. Heather, you're an encourager. For real, very thankful for you. So no, it is. We had a great service, couple of great services, y'all. Great crowds again today. Had a baptism. Had another young man come down during the altar call. He came down.
Yeah, first service.
Said he wanted to accept Christ, and
sweet.
Really, really sweet. So genuine. It was such a just like raw, just a sweet, sweet moment. Him and his mom talked to her for a long time.
It takes so much to be that age and to come down in front of a room full of adults. Do you remember being that age? How terrifying that can be?
And it's a room full of adults. And the balcony's full. It's a lot. And you turn around, and sometimes I want to say, hey, don't turn around, because everybody's looking. Everybody's looking at you. Yeah. Really neat.
It was really sweet, though.
But he came down. Thank you, Miss Kim. Everybody, Kim Hicks, everybody. Thank you for that. It was a couple of really good services. Too.
I kind of decided in the sermon that I think Cain was a teenager, though. Maybe I'm wrong, but his response to God, first the silent treatment.
That's a teenager response.
And then it's not my job. I was like,
seeing my brother,
this guy's in 10th grade. This is a 10th grade.
That's pretty true.
15-year-old right here. I don't know. I'm probably wrong about it because we were talking about earlier, the ages in Genesis are way off skew.
Yeah.
Because people lived 900 years.
He was definitely old enough to be taking care of sheep or fruit,
But he for sure answered exactly the way.
That struck a nerve. When the Lord said, "Where's your brother?" I don't know my brother.
It's not my job. I was like,
"No, why are you angry? Why's your face down? You feeling okay, buddy?"
I looked at Maurice and said, he was a teenager. And Maurice said, yeah, he probably was.
He probably was, yeah.
And then Maurice told me that he cheated on my homework, and I told him that I already knew. When you said you cheated.
I know. I confessed to the world today that I cheated my way through Spanish 1 and 2.
He did. That was in high school, right?
That was in high school. My Spanish teacher really was from England. Her name was Senora Wilson, and she had a bell that she would ring to get the class's attention with a thick British accent to speak Spanish. I was struggling before I even started.
Sounds like a lot.
That was a lot. Fun story on that though. I loved that class and how good she was so much that when our first youth group, one of the kids got me a bell because I would tell that story. She would ring a bell and she would go,
Christmas they gave you a bell.
Children, and
you
we'd
would
all
even
listen.
Say ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, I would reference the teacher.
You would say it
So
and
the
then
kids
they
gave me a bell. 3 weeks later, somebody stole the dinger out of the bell because I was ringing it all the time. I went to ring it and I was like, Joker stole the ringer out of that thing. It was okay.
Teenagers.
What do you do? You're a great teacher.
I'm sure that's what they say about me too. Yeah. I'm sure they brag about me to each other.
I think they do.
I think that's pretty much their hobby as teenagers to
They're
brag
probably
about
on TikTok right now making a video about how cool you are.
I think they probably are. They're like, you know what? My life was changed because of Miss Harrell's math class.
That's good. I don't even have TikTok. I'm never gonna know.
That's not what they're doing.
Probably not.
Don't get it. It's not what they're saying.
We're trying. So a couple other things that are coming up, y'all, in the next few weeks at our church. One, I'm trying to think through them. I write them down. On Sunday Fun Day. Well, hey, first off, we have a youth retreat next weekend, and the teens have asked me to come and speak. I'm quite excited about this. It's going to be a blast. I'm going to have a cabin full of kids. It's going to be all, no, we are going to have some fun. It's going to be really neat, y'all. I like the teens at our church a lot, and I'm looking forward to hanging out and actually having, that on Sundays it's hard to have deeper conversations. But I am really looking forward to it. I had a couple of kids, they asked if they could ride in my van. It's been a while, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's going to be next weekend.
They don't know. They don't know how we did this for 8 years.
We did this.
They don't know what to expect.
I've also, when we used to be youth pastors for a long time, I was like, man, I can't wait to go on a trip and not be responsible for anything. And I'm not. Like, if you need me to yell at a kid, I'll yell at a kid. If you need me to send somebody home,
we used to dream about this
drive
day.
them home.
Man, like one day we're
responsibility.
We're just going to be the cool pastors that go on the trip. I don't know how cool we are.
We're trying. It's not bad. All I'm going to do is preach 3 times.
Cheryl
knows.
Cheryl, if we don't leave all the consent forms at home and have to fax them in one page at a time, front and back, from the church office, that'll be good. That'll be good.
Cheryl, your kids turn out fine.
Cheryl was like, wait, that red folder that's on top of the air conditioning unit has to go with them? And I was like, now we have to fax it.
And they did.
We did. We faxed it all.
But yeah, man, so we have the youth retreat next weekend, and then it's going to be a good time. Jeff's preaching next week on Noah, all right? He's going to bring all the answers about Noah. We'll try to do maybe a Sunday. We could do a Sunday night.
Sure we can.
There. We'll do next Sunday night.
We might have guest visitors on the, I don't know.
Fun.
I don't know the environment that we'll be in. Probably super quiet and chill.
I'm game. So that'll be next weekend.
It'll be good.
And then the weekend after that is the 23rd. We have our
Pizza with the Pastors.
Pizza with the Pastors. After our first, and we had a few families sign up today, our first growth track of the year. It's going to be a great time. But yeah, y'all, after church, if you're virtual and you want to come, there are still some big crowds on Sunday mornings. But even if you want to come for lunch afterwards, anybody on here is welcome to come out. Probably 12:30ish on Sunday, the 23rd. And we're going to start a new thing called Pizza with the Pastors. I really do. I've wanted to sit down January 18th, men's food group. Everybody, January 18th. That's this weekend. January 18th.
That's next Sunday, right?
Next Sunday. No, it's
not a Sunday.
It's Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Oh, men's group. I see.
Men's group.
See how it's misinterpreting it for men's prayer breakfast, but it's different.
But no, I've wanted to have. There's so many people that have said, "Man, I'd like to get together."
People at our church.
We eat
noticed?
well.
Everything has food.
Up today. Everything has food. So we're gonna have a good time with that one.
Wednesday nights are starting back on the 26th, and food will most likely be involved. But we're gonna see how the community.
We're gonna see. I was talking to our food team today, and they said, "You know what? We'll take it a week by week."
Either way, we will meet.
We will meet.
All the classes.
Either way. All right. So plan on coming out on Wednesday nights.
And you can just bring your Chick-fil-A with you, like I'm gonna do, if the food team doesn't.
If the food team can't, or if we go in that direction, we'll do the other one.
Yep.
That's fun. That's a fun time, Jenny.
No.
That's a memory. That is a memory right there.
So all their coats will be soaking wet for school tomorrow. That's perfect. That's just what you need.
Exactly what you need. On the 30th of this month, we're doing ice skating in Covington. All right. So probably 1 or 2 o'clock.
Same place we did it last year.
Same place last year.
Well, I can't
That
say
was
what
a
my
fun
favorite fun day was.
We're bringing Sunday Fun Day back as well.
That
Just
was
a
a
time to
good
get
one.
together outside of
That
Sunday
was a good
morning in
one
the
for
building.
sure.
We do want to let everybody know, and a lot of you already do know, and we talked about this morning. The Stevens family, Miss Shanna and Mr. Chris Stevens, and their two kids are Sydney and Walker. Sydney's a junior at Georgia, sophomore, junior.
I think so.
And then
21.
Walker is 17, a high school junior. Great family, but Mr. Chris passed away last week. Very unexpectedly. Our church has rallied. I mean, just really love him well. But we're asking everybody to continue to pray. Please continue to pray for this family. Reach out, call, go by and visit. Chris's services will be this coming Wednesday at the Madison campus from 11 to 1. There's going to be a visitation from 11 to 1. And then the funeral will take place at 1 o'clock. So come out if you're able to, if you'd like to. Visitation 11 to 1 and the funeral at 1. And we will honor the life. Sweet family. And just a mom and a dad and two kids. They did, and I'll share this at the service on Wednesday. We were probably a year old, maybe year and a half old. Our church was, and Shanna came to me. They had become very, very active very quickly, and she said, "Hey, I want to do a lunch at my house for the church." I was like, "Cool. Who do you want to invite?" She said, "Everybody." So we invited the whole church, and there were only like 80 of us or 100, but the whole church, and everybody showed up. Like it's the neatest. It was the neatest
such
thing.
A fun thing.
So,
and then not long before, close in proximity to that time, we had like a girls' sleepover, and it was women. Like 6 of us went and spent the night in Shanna's basement with her, and had just like a girls' spend the night party for grown-ups. It was the whole women's ministry at that time. We had started a little Bible study on Tuesday nights, and then that eventually moved to Wednesday nights, just the women. It was me and Shanna and just 3 or 4 others. And that sort of morphed into, well, the men were like, how come we can't
get together.
Do that? And so then the men would meet.
And then Eddie Smith started bringing the grill.
And then we started grilling out. And then we thought, well, the kids need somewhere to go. And that became our Wednesday nights after that. And so that little group of women that started that that little group spent the night at her house, and it was so much fun. Very fun. I just remember such sweet memories. So
very thankful for that family. We're going to continue to pray and encourage them. Because
there is a women's ministry now. Yes.
It's fantastic. Yeah, there really is.
We have Bible studies that meet.
We'll start advertising those in the next couple of weeks again.
And then we have events that will come up, and you'll hear those be advertised. Miss Tisha Sepuron sort of heads up our women's ministry, but you'll start hearing about more.
We have 2 groups that usually meet. One that meets on Tuesday mornings, and then one that meets usually on Monday or Tuesday evenings. Those are kicking back off very soon. And Teresa, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember if you have young children. I'm trying to remember. But we have a very new group that's starting out, starting this Tuesday. If you or anybody you know that's a new mom, a very, very new mom, we have a group of moms that are going to be getting together just to drink coffee and talk. It's really cool. I mean, a few of the ladies have said, you know what?
Pretty much all you need if your children are any age.
To do that. We are, and they asked me again today, they are still looking for childcare for that class. So if you're on here, for real, and you are free, 18, he's youngish. You know what I mean? These are the babies.
A little bit different.
But with this group, if anybody on here, if you're free on Tuesday mornings, they're actually looking for 1 or maybe 2. Probably just 1 will be fine, but maybe 2. But to come in and just sit.
Some of the babies are little.
Hang out with the babies. They just need somebody to come and sit. And to me, it'd be a neat thing for some moms that don't have babies anymore to come and, just pour into the moms that do have the babies. Because really, that's what they've all said. It's like,
it's kind of all you
need.
If
somebody else drink a cup of coffee with and say, you okay? Like, this is hard, right? But
well, and if you have babies, then it's not easy to just pass that baby over to just anybody. But if you feel like that person has raised their own children and have done a good job, you're like, okay, I think this is going to work out. I will go drink a cup of coffee while you hold this child. So, and that's such a game changer when those babies are little. Every minute feels so long, good or bad. And so if you could just give a mom 10 minutes, that's like gold.
Huge
to those moms.
So if that's
all
on
moms
your heart,
really, but
let them know.
Those moms.
This coming Tuesday. But yes, also men's group is next Tuesday, January 18th. A lot of groups starting back up, y'all. And if you don't have a small group or a life group, let us know, because for real, we're trying to get everybody plugged in. I was reaching for a Bible.
Your Bible is over here.
If you have a Bible, y'all, in Genesis chapter 4, all right, Bible device, open up to Genesis chapter 4. This morning I preached on, and we kind of talked through the first part of that passage. What time is it?
7:43.
Holy cow. The first part of that passage that really just about Cain and Abel. You know, it's crazy. It's a crazy story for real. I really did get a lot out of that this last week as I was reading through that passage. What I wanted to talk about tonight, and if you have any questions about this, or really, I mean, this is an open book. Anything else, shoot it out. We'd love to talk to you or give you at least our best thought on Pam. That just happened. Pam, I'm going to message. Pam, can you shoot me a message now? Can you message me on the Facebook now, or shoot me a text?
You're so perfect. You're going to be so
answer
perfect.
prayer for real. That's fantastic.
Do you remember Pam used to keep our kids in
I remember.
situations like that? And then Caroline started doing that thing where she would pass out.
Pam, that was a good time.
Pam was like,
relaxing.
No, ma'am.
You need to fix this.
No,
this
ma'am,
is
you're not doing that. Not on my watch.
Pam, you're great. You're good.
But look, she's made it so far. She's 8. She hasn't passed out in at least 6 years.
She's doing good. And she won't even be at this thing. She'll be in.
She won't. And I don't think any of these babies are breath holders. Poor Caroline. She put us to the ringer. She really did.
It was a crazy
Those were fun times, Pam. But yes, you'll be awesome.
Pam, I want to introduce you to that group. It's real. That's going to be an answer to a lot of prayers. But at the end of the passage, right? So Cain kills his brother Abel. We don't actually know how he was killed. A few people on the way out the door today, second service, said they had, and I had the same books when I was little. It's called like Bible stories. They were in doctor's offices for a while, and it was animated.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
It looked a lot like little
and that one
cartoons,
had
right?
two different people say, I think it was a club, because in that book, he's hit him with a club.
Yeah.
And I was like, we actually don't know how he killed him, but he did kill him. So anyway, right after that,
I was wondering because you were talking about the rocks in the field, and I thought, did he
that's
hit
just
him
what
with a
came to
rock?
me in that moment. We don't know. It doesn't specify.
I'm just so curious about the whole.
There's a lot there.
Was it
So at the end,
premeditated?
I think it was. That's just me. Was he just like she listened to me murder podcasts? I mean, could have been a number of things. But after this, I want to talk briefly about that because it's almost 8:00. After the Lord says to Cain, "Where's your brother?" Cain said, and this is in Genesis chapter 4, beginning in verse 9. Cain said, "Am I my brother's keeper?"
There's
and the
that
Lord
teenager.
said, "What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground." That's insane. And then verse 11 says, and this is where it gets, this is what I want to talk to you briefly tonight. Verse 11 says, "Now you," God is talking to Cain, "you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you cultivate the ground, it will no longer yield its strength to you. You will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth." Cain said to the Lord, this is verse 13 of chapter 4, "My punishment is too great to bear. Behold, you have driven me this day from the face of the ground, and from your face," which is important, "from your face I will be hidden. And I will be a vagrant and a wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me." So the Lord said to him, "Therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance will be taken on him sevenfold." And the Lord appointed a sign for Cain, so that no one finding him would slay him. Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. He had relations with his wife. They conceived, give birth to Enoch, and they built a city. All right. There is a ton of information in those few verses and a ton of questions in those few verses.
So many questions.
First, if you have a question about those verses, jump out there at us and let us know what they are. We're going to just hit on briefly a couple of them that I've gotten over the years and a couple that I have about those questions. The first is, and we didn't even talk about this earlier, what was the mark that was put on Cain?
Yeah, we didn't get to
other
this
people
morning. I
know?
was wondering.
Different people groups, this is just Danny for a second. Different people groups throughout the years have used mark to mean lots of different things, for real. This is just me. From what I read in the scripture, there is no way to know what the mark on Cain was.
It doesn't really, does it ever talk about it again?
As far as I know,
far-
if you
I
have
don't
more
think-
information on that, please share it with the class. As far as I know, there is nothing else there. So when God says to Cain, "You got to get out from this place, I will mark you so that no one will hurt you," we don't know what that mark was. It wasn't like the mark of the beast.
And what
or
mark
anything
would
like that.
somebody have on them? If you're a stranger and you see a person, what would they have to look like? Mm-hmm. It almost seems like it'd have to be like a tattoo that says,
Yeah. Don't touch me.
"Don't."
God will hurt you sevenfold.
But what would it even say?
Abel's name? I mean, really, we have no idea. We don't know what it is. The second part from, so if you have any thoughts on that, let us know. The second part from that is, who was he afraid was going to kill him? You know what I mean? From up until this point, all we know
as far as we
name-wise,
know,
you
there
got
are 4
Adam,
people,
Eve,
and one of
Cain,
them just
Abel.
died.
A fourth of the world is now gone. So when you take a step back, we've watched a few things on it. There's plenty of books, plenty of literature on that. I would encourage you to always be careful, all right, when you're looking up literature, especially about these. Make sure the source is a group of people that you trust.
But also just be aware that the Bible only says so much.
Only says so much. So there is
able to read in so much to it. For sure, you can sort of just guess.
You can guess with it, and we have some pretty biblical, like educated guesses here.
Right.
But again, all that to say, we talked about it last week. If God wanted us to know more details, He would have given us more details. For one reason or another, God didn't give us many details. He just kind of laid it out there. Right. So when Cain's kicked out of the area and says, "Oh my goodness, I'm going to be marked. People are going to want to hurt me," who wants to hurt him? What I believe and have read is that Adam and Eve knew one another, so they had a few kids. They had Cain and Abel. They later had Seth. They very likely had lots and lots of other children, all right?
Probably daughters that are unnamed.
Probably daughters that are unnamed, and those folks began to have children. If you read if you read how old these folks were living, they were living a long time. There was a lot of time just to have kids, but also to continue to multiply and to build, to spread out. So there is a good chance that Cain was afraid of some people that he probably was pretty closely related to, who also probably knew of him.
Depending on how you interpret the family, probably they had to start off with brothers and sisters being married, which is not
that was the next question. Where did Cain get his wife?
It's probably not acceptable now, obviously.
Either a sister
Genetics
or a niece,
have
more
gone
than likely.
so far, through iterations, that would never work now. But with the first family, it wouldn't be such a genetic nightmare.
No.
But there are other takes on Genesis and how the first family could have worked. But most likely, in my mind, that's the most logical. But then you have to think everybody on the earth is his sibling.
Niece,
within
nephew. Very, very close.
People that we would see at our family reunion. They're not talking about third, fourth, fifth cousins. This is still very, everybody in the world is related to him.
Yeah.
So if he travels anywhere else in the world, even if they've had dozens of children and then generations have happened, they're all still his relative. It's not like you're not going to know the one murder that's happened.
Yeah. And then in today's world, if you have a falling out or get into something with a sibling or a close family member, a lot of times, we know folks that we were related to. They pick up and move. You got some folks they move to the West Coast and you go, okay, they're like, you know what, we're going to start over and go to this side.
Sure.
Well, back here, there's not a lot of people on the planet to begin with. So there's not a lot of places to disappear into, but it does. So yes, naturally, I do believe that Adam and Eve had lots of children, and we talked about this just briefly earlier, y'all. Like Shonda's parents, Archie and Sarita, lovely, had 5 kids, which sounds like a lot in today's world, but you figure, especially in Adam and Eve's world, or even 100 years ago, 5 wasn't that many. So just in the 5, her parents have been married for.
Well, I think Adam lived 900 years, so it's. And everybody lived into the 900-year range during this part of the scripture, early on. And so I don't know how many of those years they're having children, but it seems like a lot.
Yep, seems like a lot. How quickly 2 people.
So in my family, we're up to 21.
2 people go to 21 in the course of 15 years. Yeah. That's quick to how fast things can multiply. So for this, I definitely think there were other people on the earth. They were also very closely related. The third question was, where did Cain get his wife? And Shante answered that one. Just looking at these, y'all, and I know some people say, man, that's odd. That's different. There were only so many people on the planet to begin with, and Adam and Eve's, their gene pool was perfect until they fell in the garden. So there wasn't as much sin in the bloodline. Not much fallen with it. That's what we.
Lots of question marks.
But a lot of question marks. That's a lot. Again, we just covered 10 verses, 8 verses there, but there's a ton of information in that. I have not gathered. Pastor Chris Langham has Through the Word app. I will check that out. I like those types of apps that are going through the Word with it. But we see that, and it says as soon as Cain goes out in 16, he goes and settles in Nod. He starts having kids, and Enoch, and they build a city.
That's what I was just looking. They go through,
and they name it after his son Enoch, and then it goes through this genealogy. So they start spreading out pretty quick.
It's weird because in verse 25 it says all of a sudden it goes back to Adam, and then after generations of Cain's people are listed. It's 3 or 4 generations listed. I'm just reading through quickly. It says, and then Adam and Eve had Seth, for God has appointed, and Eve said, God has appointed for me another offspring instead of Abel. For Cain killed him. And so after all these generations of people are born, now they have Seth. It's literally when you have hundreds of years to go through, it just is really different than our experience now. Where
which
we
is
live 100
fascinating.
years,
And
hopefully. And
oh snap!
it's not quite that.
One time when I was in
long
high
of a
school,
time.
I drew out all the. I went through like Genesis had a little bit of time on my hands, but I drew out all of the generations.
You weren't studying for Spanish. We know
I wasn't studying for Spanish class. I drew out all the generations and wrote them all down, and I was like, "This is amazing." It goes from Adam, and this really does from Adam all the way to Abraham, and from Abraham all the way to David, and from David all the way to Jesus. So like this is crazy, y'all.
Track it down.
Genealogically, you can, and then anyway, I ended up finding in Matthew where it has it all listed out. And I was like, should have started here because it's all in one piece of paper. But it actually there's a generational name from everyone in Scripture, from Adam to Jesus. I mean, that's impressive. You know what I mean? Now it goes from Adam all the way to Noah. They have the flood. They start over. So really, you go from Noah on. But another thing I've read before, just listened to today, was talking about how when Adam and Eve had Seth, and she says, this is a replacement. I mean, pretty much like this is replacing what I had with Abel, to know that Seth's bloodline, like from Seth, comes the rest of the line all the way down. So it was almost like getting back into it. You don't want
really Seth was the true bloodline.
Seth was the true bloodline.
I thought it's interesting too that one thing that I've never really noticed until this last week when I was reading through it for my chronological plan. It goes all the way through Cain's descendants. It gets down to Lamech, and then he has 2 wives. And then, that's another Old Testament thing. But one of them has a son named Jubal, and it says he was the father of all those who play the lyre and the pipe. And it's like all of a sudden you have this long line of names under Cain. After the murder, he's gone, started his whole city. And I guess all these people who play instruments are just in this one descendant's bloodline. And I don't know how that plays out later, but it kind of makes it seem like everybody that played instruments were from this guy's family.
That's kind of like your family.
Yeah, but it's just interesting. I've never really learned.
There's a Baptist men's choir called the Sons of Jubal, which is where that comes from. Pretty interesting.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's where that came from. I guess I've never paid attention. And then it says they're also the forger of all the bronze and iron instruments. So there you go.
So he gives specific breakdowns.
Cain has a really interesting bloodline that comes after him. So, I don't know. We don't talk about Cain a lot.
We don't talk about Cain a lot. There's a fantastic Christian group called Cain.
But they spell it.
They spell it a little differently though.
Yeah.
But
thought they did.
No, it is, y'all. It's a fascinating story, and we didn't really talk about that as much this morning. But this is the first family. Adam, Eve, and their kids. And they, had murder in their household within within 2 generations. So you see, we went from falling in the garden, eating of the fruit, you're like, well, that was bad, to murder. So pretty quickly how things continue to digress. But also it does give me hope, and I want to have everybody to have a little bit of hope. No family is perfect, even in the family of Adam and Eve. Like Adam and Eve walked in the garden with the physical, as far as I can tell, with the presence of the Lord walking by before the fall. And their kids really had struggles with one another and with their relationship to God. Cain had a lot of struggles with his relationship to God. And it led to difficult things. So from the very first pages, we're only in chapter 4, and we begin to already say, wow, people have struggled, And we also don't get into this very often. I didn't preach to it this morning. What would it be like to be Adam and Eve and know that one of your children murdered another one of your kids? This is changing the family dynamic. This is changing a lot for them as well. Of wow, we've come a long way, from being in a perfect garden.
I feel like that would be really a constant reminder of their own fall. I can't imagine not feeling a little bit responsible for that. You were in a perfect place where sin really didn't even exist. And then you ushered sin into the world. And it seems like almost immediately in the story, at least,
it drops.
Now your children are murdering one another. It just seems like, what did we do to bring this on into the story? I feel like if you're Eve, you're hearing that snake's voice lie to you and tell you, how bad could it be? And she's thinking, pretty bad. My kid, my kid's one's gone forever at the hand of the other one, and I'm the one who opened the door to this. It just seems so sad from her perspective.
Which ties in for us. You figure from the very first father and the very first mother on the planet biblically.
They really didn't.
They very likely spent later in life, at least sometimes, going, what could we have done differently? You know, and I've talked to lots and lots of parents. Some of these parents' kids have turned out fantastically. Almost every parent that I know at some point says, well, what if we had, anything, not moved or put our kids here, done that. Those questions, and that's interesting. You're right, because I wonder, I'm sure those.
I feel like Eve probably, as a mom, I would imagine that after this Cain and Abel story, I would imagine being Eve was pretty tough. Mm-hmm. Because she is literally the one who entered into human beings, starting the whole sin. Mm-hmm. Not that it wasn't Adam too, but I just think that as their parents, their children had an opportunity to be raised in the garden of perfection, a world where everything was ideal, and they messed it up.
Yeah.
But I also don't believe for a minute that, it was inevitable that we were not going to make it very far on our own. I don't think that if Adam and Eve hadn't eaten that fruit that day, I think it was coming.
It was coming.
Clearly, they didn't have it in them to avoid that. So.
Crazy stuff, y'all. Absolutely crazy. And what's wild is, as each generation continued to go on, more and more sins were committed, and more things were passed down to the next generation. Versus environmentally and everything in us was passed down. So. It's crazy how that works. So phenomenal stories. Thank y'all for hanging out with us a little bit tonight. I know we talked a lot at the beginning here, but I'm enjoying the book of Genesis and looking at these it's interesting things.
I was thinking this morning when you started the sermon off telling somebody, if you've never heard these stories, and what we've been so shocked about just in the recent years at Lake Point is that people have started coming to church, and I think it's a generation now where that is a pretty common thing. There are lots of people that we see every single day that don't know Cain and Abel.
Yeah,
they don't know Bible stories. Like you said, if you grew up with felt, Sunday school teacher with the felt board, you've got it. I can picture the felt character for Cain and Abel and exactly how they looked, and David and Goliath. But if you were raised up in a different tradition or not in church, some of these stories are not familiar to you. And I thought, what would it be like to visit a church and then sit down?
Like, what?
And the sermon is about a murder. Like, you just don't see that coming.
No, you don't see that coming.
If you don't know the story, I thought,
Bam.
You're really in for a surprise today.
Here we go.
This is the first time you've heard this story. You just don't, There's a lot of people around us who don't talk about Bible stories and never have in their home or in their daily conversation. So you use a reference like David and Goliath.
Yeah.
Less and less people really know it, which is a tough truth, but also kind of fun to make. It makes a sermon more fun to think.
It's fun because
there
it
are
gives
people in
us
this
an
room
option.
who don't know he's about to murder him.
That's absolutely right. You're like, this is coming, y'all.
A big.
that's an interest. It is.
It's
so
a
we can
different
look at
perspective.
It and go,
Yeah.
the story hasn't changed. The audience has changed, but the meaning hasn't changed either. It's really cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Shante. Thanks, team. Hope you all have a wonderful evening. It's lightning outside. We're gonna go and I don't know.
Put our kids to bed.
We're gonna do the bedtime. Yeah. We're gonna do bedtime routine.
It's gonna be
hopefully
fun.
The power. We'll see what happens here. I hope you have a wonderful week. We'll be checking in later in the week, and
I hope our power holds out for this next 1 minute while we wrap
let's
this
finish
up.
this thing up. Y'all, we're thankful for you. If you need anything, let us know.
We love you guys.
And we will talk to you very soon, okay? Praying for you this evening. Happy Sunday night to you.
Happy Sunday. Good night.